Hello dear students, welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Dr. Ruchi Bhargav, Assistant Professor in Education, Khalsa College of Education, Ranjit Avenue, Amritsar. Well students, today we will discuss about the topic Educational Administration, Structure, Functions and Processes at the Central Government Level. The objectives of the present module are: explain the meaning and concept of educational administration at central government level, enumerate the structure of educational administration at central government level, explain the functions of educational administration of central government, and describe the centrally sponsored programs for effective administration. First of all, we will discuss about educational administration in India. Educational administration is the study and practice of managing the resources, tasks and communications. The 21st century marks the era of refinement of educational administration by delegation of educational administration powers at each level. In India, a host of institutional structures between the district level and the schools have been set up in the last one decade to strengthen the education's level. Mainly at the central level, a new ministry has been created under a suggestive name, that is Ministry of Human Resource Development, on 26 September 1985. The main institutional structures related with administration are cluster resource centers, block resource centers and district institutes of education and training. The nation as a whole should find resources for the vital area of education, and in this venture the center and states should play complementary roles and become real understanding partners. It is important that in the formulation and implementation of the policy and programs, there should be close and continuous consultation between the central and state governments in the true spirit of partnership. Regarding the cooperation of center and the states, Maulana Abul Kalam Azad, the first education minister of independent India, stated that education was of course a state subject and the center have never believed in interfering. But the center could also not sit back and say that their responsibility was over. The center could offer advice, give help and make efforts towards the implementation of the schemes. The reform of the education system as a whole and fulfillments of the planned targets aimed at uniformly high standards of education throughout the country. Now, we will focus on historical background of educational administration in India. General education under the Constitution was the state matter until 1976. The central government could only provide guidance to the states on policy issues. In 1976, the Constitution was amended to include education on the concurrent list. The initial attempts of designing a national education policy were made in 1968. But it was only in 1986 that India as a whole had a uniform national policy on education. The National Policy on Education 1986, modified in 1992, defines the major goals of elementary education as universal access and enrollment, universal retention of children up to 14 years and substantial improvement in the quality of education. The National Policy of Education of 1992 also aims at vocationalization of secondary education and greater use of education technology. The policy has become accompanied by several programs such as the District Primary Education Program, launched in 1994, and the National Campaign for Education for All, Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan, launched in 2001. Another flagship program launched by the Indian government is the universalization of secondary education. The main aim is to provide high quality secondary education to all Indian adolescents up to the age of 16 by 2015 and senior secondary education up to the age of 18 by 2020. Now, we will learn about educational administration at central level. The central and the state governments have joint responsibility for education, with freedom for the state governments to organize education within the national framework of education. Educational policy planning is under the overall charge of the Central Ministry of Human Resource Development, which includes the Department of Elementary Education and Literacy and the Department of Secondary and Higher Education. The ministry is guided by the Central Advisory Board of Education, which is the national level advisory body. The education ministers of all the different states are members of the board. The National Council of Education Research and Training NCERT 1961 introduced the National Curriculum Framework for classes 1st to 12th. It also functions as a resource center in the field of school development and teacher education. State Councils of Educational Research and Training SCERT are the foremost institution of research and development in all the states. At secondary level, school boards at the state level affiliate schools and set examination standards in accordance with the national framework. The Central Board of Secondary Education CBSE and Council for Indian Schools Certificate Examinations CISCE cover all India besides the National Institute of Open Learning NIOS. Let us discuss the basic tasks included in educational administration. Educational administration is a specialized activity which runs the entire educational program composed of human and material resources in an organized manner towards fruitful and constructive goals. Educational institutions operate in a dynamic environment. They therefore must constantly identify and implement improvements in their own setup. The process of continuous improvement thrives when the mindset of the stakeholders is geared towards constant monitoring, problem identification and research. Educational administration therefore performs a threefold task to ensure efficient working, that is, stating the specific purpose and mission of education in general and of institution in particular, ensuring that work is productive by nurturing human resources to be productive in their actions, and designing and maintaining an environment in which individuals work together in groups efficiently to accomplish set goals. Now, we will focus on structure of educational administration at central government level in India. The main organization is Ministry of Education. The Indian government is quasi-federal in nature. The union government and the state government together are responsible for the development of education in the country. Hence, separate ministries are formed for smooth functioning of the departments. The Central Ministry or MHRD. On 26th September 1985, the Government of India created a new ministry in the name of Ministry of Human Resource Development. This ministry is responsible for educational development in the country. The ministry has two departments, namely Department of School Education and Literacy and Department of Higher Education. Under the Department of School Education and Literacy, there are two subcategories, namely elementary education, secondary education and adult education. Elementary education. At the pre-primary stage, 0 to 6 year, there is the attempt to establish a linkage between early childhood care and education and other development programs including the Integrated Child Development Scheme. For the Balwadis or Anganwadis or day care centers are run by government, NGOs and state governments. The principle of decentralization has been extended to the management of primary education, and village education committees have been set up in many parts of the country. These committees are responsible for the enrollment and retention of children in schools, supervise the functioning of schools, check teacher absenteeism and mobilize additional resources for the schools. Thus, attempts have been made to elicit community participation not only in the preparation of educational plans but also in the administration of education, including mobilization of additional resources. Secondary education and adult education. At the national level, the Kendriya Vidyalaya Sangathan, New Delhi runs the Kendriya Vidyalayas, central schools, while the Navodaya Vidyalaya Samiti, New Delhi runs the Navodaya Vidyalayas. The Central Board of Secondary Education, New Delhi functions under the overall supervision of the Department of Education, Ministry of Human Resource Development and Government of India. It deals with activities related to affiliation, academics and examination and is known for introducing innovations and reforms all the secondary and senior secondary levels, so as to bring education at par with international standards. Under the Department of Higher Education, there are 6 subcategories which are University and Higher Education, Technical Education, Book Promotion and Copyright, Scholarships, Languages and Minority Education. Now, we will focus on some other central educational institutions which are involved in administration at different levels or aspects. At higher education level. In the tertiary sector, the following bodies determine and maintain standards for higher education and funding at the national level includes University Grants Commission, All India Council for Technical Education, Medical Council of India, Indian Council of Agricultural Research and National Council for Teacher Education. Technical education. The administration of technical education is done through the All India Council for Technical Education, set up as an advisory body in 1945. It was given a statutory status through an Act of Parliament in 1987, which came into effect in March 1988. The main functions of the statutory AICTE include proper planning and coordinated development of technical education in the country. Adult education. This is the central scheme of assistance to voluntary agencies in adult education, in which the agencies are encouraged to take up area-specific projects, establish and run post-literacy centers. Vocational education. The Central Institute of Vocational Education was set up in Bhopal and Madhya Pradesh in 1993 to serve as an apex research and development institute for vocational education in the country. This institute's activities revolve around the review and standardization of curriculum, textbooks, instructional materials, teacher training programs and interstate interaction to facilitate and share information and experiences related to vocational education. Non-formal education. All the non-formal centers are organized on the basis of projects. Mostly, each NFE project comprises of 100 NFE centers. However, in hilly, coastal or tribal areas, the project may have a smaller number of centers. The monitoring of the program is done on a continuous basis at the village, district and state through VECs. District Institutes of Education and Training, State Council of Educational Research and Training and Directorate of Education respectively. Apex institutions. The NCERT is the apex resource organization assisting and advising the central and state governments on academic matters related to school education. The constituents of the NCERT include National Institute of Education, New Delhi, Central Institute of Education Technology, New Delhi, Regional Institutes of Education located at Ajmer, Bhopal, Bhubaneswar and Mysore. Pandit Sundarlal Sharma Central Institute of Vocational Education, Bhopal. Field offices in major states. The other apex institution concerned with educational planning and administration is the National University of Educational Planning and Administration. This institute conducts research, organizes training, provides consultancy services and disseminates important information on innovations, changes and development in the area of planning and management. Non-governmental organizations. A large number of NGOs are working in the area of adult education, NFE, special education for children with disabilities, ECE and teacher training. NGOs are also engaged in education and welfare of working children and street children. Some NGOs have been established to undertake innovative programs in teaching, curriculum development and teacher training. Now, we will discuss the major functions of central government in educational administration. Educational administration is regarded as total processes inclusive of all responsibilities and functions necessary for running the schools. It provides and manages various elements of the teaching-learning situation such as the learners, the teachers, the curriculum and the socio-physical environment. In the absence of these functions, the school cannot function effectively. Let us now analyze these functions briefly. First, execution or planning. Execution lays the foundation of an institution. Execution not only points out what resources are needed, but also the sources of procurement. These resources may include material resources like the building, furniture, library, laboratories, non-material resources like personnel and other stakeholders like students and parents, and abstract resources like vision, mission statement, ideologies and values. Second function is organization. Organization is an important function of good administration. The effective and efficient work of school depends upon the good organization. The essential elements of the organization are people, what they do and how they work together. Third is direction. Educational administration ensures that the directives are upheld during curriculum construction and academic planning. Direction is an important function of educational administration. Direction involves getting the work done through instructions and orders. There should be proper supervision, motivation and communication on the part of the administrator for getting the work done. Directing involves exercising leadership, motivating people, determining accountability and developing guidelines for action. Fourth function is controlling. Controlling involves measuring and monitoring performance, comparing results with plans, and taking corrective action when required. It indicates how far the goals have been achieved and to what extent there is deviation from the plans. Fifth is supervision. Supervision ensures that the plans are being executed according to the directives. It thus enhances the quality of work done and the resulting accomplishments. Sixth are advise or stimulate. Educational administration analyzes the work and manner in which work is done. It emphasizes on action plans which help remove the weaknesses and serve to accomplish the set goals. Finally, lead or assist. Educational administration not only lays down the directives but also provides a requisite support system to enable the efficient and effective completion of the set objectives or goals. So, administration is concerned with managing resources, allocation tasks, making decisions and solving problems. The function is to create favorable conditions for the educational process and their maintenance at the effective level. Now, let us discuss about centrally sponsored programs run by central government to make educational administration effective and efficient. The following programs are being implemented in the education sector by central government for efficient management. Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan. Launched in 2001, Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan is one of the India's major flagship program for universalization of elementary education. Its overall goals include universal access and retention, bridging of gender and social category gaps in elementary education, and achieving significant enhancement in learning levels of children. Provisions of Right to Education Act are being implemented through SSA. Accordingly, norms have been revised or modified to align them with the requirement to RT Act 2009. Kasturba Gandhi Balika Vidyalaya KGBVS are residential upper primary schools for girls from SC, ST, OBC and Muslim communities. KGBVS are set up in the areas of scattered habitations where schools are at great distance. KGBVS program provide minimum reservation of 75% seats for girls from SC, ST, OBC and minorities communities and 25% of girls from families that live below the poverty line. National Program for Education of Girls at Elementary Level. This program is implemented in educationally backward blocks and addresses the needs of the girls. NPEGEL also reaches out to girls who are enrolled in school but do not attend school regularly. Midday meal scheme. In keeping with the constitutional provisions to raise the level of nutrition of children and enable them to develop in a healthy manner, the National Program of Nutritional Support to Primary Education was launched as a centrally sponsored scheme in 1995. Commonly referred to as MDMS, this was expected to enhance enrollment, retention, attendance of children in schools apart from improving their nutritional levels. The Rashtriya Madhyamik Shiksha Abhiyan, a centrally sponsored scheme with a funding pattern of 75:25 between centre and state, was launched in 2009-10. The major objectives of RMSA is to raise the minimum level of education to class 10th and universalize access to secondary education. Scheme of vocationalization of secondary education at +2 level. Initiated in 1988, the centrally sponsored scheme of vocationalization of secondary education provides for diversification of educational opportunities so as to enhance individual employability, reduce the mismatch between demand and supply of skilled manpower, and provides an alternative for those pursuing higher education. Scheme of ICT at school. The Information and Communication Technology in School scheme was launched in December 2004 to provide opportunities to secondary stage students to mainly build their capacity of ICT skills and make them learn through computer aided learning process. Adult education and skill development schemes. Adult education aims at extending educational options to those adults who have lost the opportunity and have crossed the age of formal education, but now feel a need for learning of any type, including basic education, skill development, etc. Setting up of new polytechnics and strengthening of existing polytechnics. A scheme, submission on polytechnics under Coordinated Action for Skill Development, has been launched during the 11th plan. Under the scheme, the ministry provides one-time financial assistance up to rupees 12.30 crores per polytechnic to the state or UT governments for setting up a new polytechnics in 300 unserved and underserved districts of the country. Eklavya Model Residential Schools. These schools are funded by the government for the welfare of scheduled tribes. Proposals for setting of EMRS are received from the state government. Pre-Matric Scholarship Scheme. Pre-Matric is the scholarship for students from minorities communities. These scholarships at pre-matric level will encourage parents from minority communities to send their school-going children to school, lighten their financial burden of school education, and sustain their efforts to support their children to complete school education. To summarize, this module focuses on educational administration, structure, functions and processes at the central government level. Educational administration is the study and practices of managing the resources, tasks and communications involved in running educational institution. General functions and processes of educational administration include resource and program, planning and policy making, provision and maintenance of funds and facilities, obtaining and development of personal improvement of instructional programs, student personal services, and maintenance of effective interrelationships with the community and external agencies. The main body which regulates educational administration in India at central level is MHRD, with the help of its constituents and apex bodies. The main mission and vision of MHRD is that the future belongs to India, the largest vibrant democracy in the world, teeming with opportunities. With hope in their eyes and a yearning to learn, the youth of this great nation awaits the new paradigm of education that fosters knowledge with analytical skills, logical reasoning, and the ability to imagine beyond the given. Thank you.